Jacob. Hey, what's up? First person in today's party lobby, so great. Hey, what's up?
Stream. There we go.
Hello, hello.
I'm doing well. How are you doing today?
Fine, thank you very much. Thanks for asking.
Uh, so it's funny because in the last stream, I had this whole conversation with you trying to figure out what subject matter would be fun to talk about, and I deduced that world building would be a really interesting conversation to have. But now I just want to talk about trolls.
Okay, we can, of course. Let's do that. No worries. Whatever you want.
I've only gotten into the Twitch scene in the last few months, so it's all kind of brand new to me.
Yeah.
And it's been interesting seeing who gets, the most attention from the trolls, how they go about it.
Yeah.
So I guess the best place to start would be, what was your experience from when you began streaming to now when it comes to trolls and their impact on your stream?
I guess the first few experiences I've had with trolls were actually just like the /me ones, like the boring ones, really, right?
Yeah.
I've the actual, like, I would say not harmful experience I've ever had with trolls was like I got rated with like 300 viewers. That was very nice. That was like a very nice audience and stuff. But in the same stream later on, like some random dude took issue that I got rated, and I was very thankful about that. And he follower botted me, and that was kind of annoying, you know. So
Yeah.
he follower botted me with like 3,000 followers, like bot accounts. And obviously, thankfully, there are some tools that some bot makers provide to block and remove them from from your follower list. Otherwise, I'd be stuck with 3K or 4K followers now. But I've never had someone that actually like went through all the links. Oh, and he also spammed my Discord. But we made sure to have like a bot prevention.
Yeah.
Here. So I've never had like something like really harmful. Obviously, I think I'm personally, if I had to like reflect on myself, I think I'm somewhat not the most angry person in the world, and I'm somewhat decent with conflict for the most part. So, but there are definitely streamers, like you said, like who was a good one? If I have to think of a streamer, like, may he rest in peace, but Wreckful. I don't know if you knew that guy or have heard of that guy.
I know of him, but I never watched any of his content, but
Okay.
I know of the situation.
Okay, yeah. No, he was like he was like one of these people that that was very easily triggerable. So
Yeah.
and there are obviously streamers who like make use of that, right? That there are trolls in chat and they get triggered by that, and that is free content essentially, right?
Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah, I have come across them here and there in streaming. Like, I've been streaming for maybe like 4 months now, and in that entire time, maybe 2 or 3 times I've had to like ban someone in chat because of it.
Yeah.
But I have a lot of other friends that stream, and so I've started modding for a lot of streams, and like the comparison between men and women and how they're targeted on Twitch, I find very fascinating as well. Like,
True.
I definitely have to deal with trolls in female streamers streams way more than I have to do in male streamers.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it really splits between smaller streamers and larger streamers. I feel like that's actually kind of balanced. Though I don't really follow anybody that's a huge streamer, so I don't know. The chat's moving by so fast anyway. I don't even know if you could get a word in edgewise to try to troll. But yeah, it's I know at least one streamer who has a very weird respect for trolls.
Okay.
In a sense that, like, he enjoys when someone creatively tries to troll people, and he's made me kind of shift my mentality because I do mod for him. And so I actually do enjoy when someone creatively tries to troll. But like you said, where you get these kinds of trolls that it's the same thing you've seen everywhere for a decade now.
Yeah.
It's like someone had somebody come in and do that to them a few weeks ago, and the response was like, I was doing that like 7 years ago before it was a thing. Like, dude, get a new joke, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah, I have the
Uh,
the theory that just like the slash me, for example, is like just new kids finding out about it, and they're just reusing it basically and don't know that it is like has been a thing for so long.
yeah. But what do you think drives the mentality to come into a stream and do that? Like, is it attention seeking? Is it just the inability to understand how to interact?
I th-
Uh,
I think it's like a combination of all of that. I think that there are a lot of people who like want to vent their frustrations to someone somehow, right? And they're too like they have too much social anxiety maybe to like vent it to someone in like real life or like talk about their feelings or how they feel. So they just use these random Twitch streamers that they find and just like make their life a bit more shitty at the end of the day.
yeah,
Obviously there are, like you said, like I value a creative troll also a lot. Like if somebody trolls me in a good creative way, like if somebody manages to rickroll me today and they actually like make me click on the link and then I get the rickroll, hey, I'm saying GG's to that person, right? That's a creative, non-harmful troll.
yeah. And that's in a sense that's telling a good joke.
Yeah,
Or
true.
and when it comes to humor, you can tell jokes about pretty much any subject
Yeah.
as long as you understand the subject and how to convey what you're trying to get. Uh, and when you have simple slash me trolls like that, you're not really conveying anything. Like there's nothing
Yeah.
humorous in it.
Mhm.
Um, I mean, if you're doing it to someone, I guess who's a popular streamer who knows it, maybe you could come across as funny. But when you go to new streamers or smaller streamers, it's like, why are you targeting these people anyway? Like that's seems off base, and so it's interesting seeing this as a social platform as well. Because like I said, this is all new to me. I've only really gotten
Mhm.
involved in Twitch because of lockdown.
Mhm.
And the common vein that I've seen is that the a lot of the streamers I come across on Twitch utilize Twitch for social connections that they aren't finding in their day-to-day life. Whether
Yes.
that's because of lockdown for me in this situation,
Mhm.
Twitch has become my social life literally,
Mhm.
or because they're introverted and this is a safer and more comfortable way to interact with other people.
Mhm.
Um, so like it kind of takes on a new level for me when I see someone come into a smaller streamer and try to troll them, and it's like this is supposed to be a safe place for them. Like they've come onto Twitch to try to build a small community that they may not be able to in their day-to-day life. Why would you pick this of all places to try to attack someone?
Yeah.
Like it feels doubly evil to not just target somebody in general, but to target someone who's in a very vulnerable place. Like you go to a bigger streamer and do it, I don't really care. It's like, all right, fine. Like they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They've been here for a while.
Mhm.
But I see them in a lot of the smaller streamers that I either hang out with or mod for, and it's like that's pretty harsh to go into someone's chat like that and start messing with them when they may not even understand what's going on.
It's kind of shitty, definitely. That's true. Why is the sound alert playing for so long? Anyway, sorry. Um, no, it definitely. I guess it's just like the slash me trolls, for example, just want to really just troll like the very very new streamers, right? To go back to the slash me example, but
Yeah, yes,
but
I would agree with that.
there are of course like the really harsh ones where they just go in there and throw insults at them. It's just not really
Yeah.
necessary. Just wait, I'm sorry, I'm being distracted a bit. Wait. Absolutely, that is not trolling. It's being well, yeah, or being just like an asshole in general, right? I don't know. I guess to come back to like the example from earlier, some people just want to vent their frustration on someone, and they feel like it's the easiest to do like with like people that have like 5 viewers or less or more a bit, right? Because they have that social connection, right? And I guess Twitch has always been so I've been watching Twitch since 2011, right about that, right, roughly around that, right? And one of the biggest streamer or like one of the very bigger streamers on this platform is called Destiny, right? And I watched he was a semi-pro StarCraft 2 player, and I was watching this guy, and they were going around smaller streamers with his like I don't know 1K 2K concurrent audience, right? Like I don't want to say harass people, but they were very much bothering them, right? And that was content back in the day, and obviously 10 years ago, the internet was very, very much a lot more toxic. I think nobody has to, we don't have to debate that. But that was like Twitch back then. Like, I remember back to like 2015, Twitch was a very toxic place. Like, if you were a girl and you streamed on Twitch prior to 2015 or like 2016, 17 even, it was like undoable almost. You had to either like wear absolutely like have like 10 layers of clothes on for you not to be called like a whore, or you just fully embraced it. You were like the meme character, like a Casey Tron. I don't know if you're very familiar with like streamers, bigger streamers.
I'm not, unfortunately.
Okay, so she was one of the OG female streamers. She just had like always a character going on. Like, she was that stereotypically California girl that was like kind of bitchy and stuff, right? And
Okay.
she was like, in the beginning, like up until like 2017, people were always thinking that was her real persona, but after a while, people just realized that she was just trolling, putting on an act.
Okay. Yeah.
And she utilized that pretty well. So she like saw that, identified that she wanted to take that hate that a lot of dudes had on this platform, and she just embraced it. So that was pretty weird and interesting. See?
Yeah, it's interesting seeing the treatment female streamers get on here, as well as some of the content that you see from female streamers on here. And so it's interesting for me because I got into this, and now my girlfriend likes to watch some of my streams and interact with some of the people that are either in my streams or that I follow and stream. But I've had conversations with her about doing like a cooperative stream or something, and she has zero interest of ever getting on Twitch because she watches me mod for some of the female streamers, and it's like, I don't want that. Like, I don't even want to risk the thought of that. Yeah. And it breaks my heart because I see female streamers who come on here and are either discouraged by the trolling aspect of it, or on the opposite end are discouraged by what are some of the more popular female streamers on here. Yeah. And that's a whole other conversation.
Yeah, true.
What constitutes appropriateness for content on Twitch, if there even is a thing. Like, I'm a very against censorship in pretty much any form. So in my mind, like, if it works for you, it works for you, go to town. But it definitely, I can see, be discouraging for female streamers and create animosity between jealous male streamers who are like, I can't get on Twitch and just wear a bra and get content. Like, no, I don't care, because like I like the people that I stream with, I like the people that I play with, and I like the games that I play. So I have my little corner of Twitch and I'm happy with it.
Yeah, that's cool.
Cool. But it is interesting to see the attacks that some people get.
Yeah.
And I mod for people of all ages and genders, and so I definitely see the disparity there. And one of the creepiest things is how much some of the younger people get targeted.
Okay.
I mod for a friend's daughter who's 17, and like the sexually explicit stuff that people post in her chat at times, it's just like, you realize like that's actually semi-criminal. If that was real life, you might be going to jail. Like,
but that's
the fact that you can hide behind a screen here is not really making it any better.
Not really, No, I feel like Twitch is, like you say, Twitch is, it's kind of like a reflection on, I almost feel like today's society's look on women. Like, you either can be like the biggest like Twitch thought in the world, or you're like really awesome and really wholesome and you get all the love in the world, but I feel like there's no in between. You either get harassed very, very much, or there's some love in there, but obviously everybody gets harassed. So every female on this platform, I don't want to say that they don't get harassed, because if I just watch, like, I watched Afu's stream. She's like, I think the biggest female streamer on this platform. She gets like 10K average views.
Yeah, that's, I could see that.
And she's like, even she, right? She dresses very conservatively, doesn't like put any emphasis whatsoever on her sexuality, right? Still gets harassing comments.
Yeah,
just sucks a lot. And it's still, because Twitch is still like I'd say like a 80% or 70% heavily male dominated platform. So I don't know.
Which is interesting. Like I don't know what the statistics are, but at least from my experience, and maybe it's because I've always had more female friends than male friends, it's pretty 50-50 among male streamers and female streamers that I interact with, that I play games with, that I watch. Um, and I feel like the viewership tends to be pretty split for most of the things that I play. The one I stream a lot of Hearthstone, and that's definitely male dominated.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I don't know if that's more recent because of lockdown and more of a shift towards virtual interactions.
I would say definitely that's definitely true. I've noticed this as well. I get the feeling. Obviously, this is just a feeling, not fact. I think that there is an uptick in female viewers. I think a lot of YouTubers that had very heavy female audiences switched over to Twitch to get that like one-to-one connection that you don't get through a YouTube video, and obviously also to make some money on the sides. And those viewers stay for a while because they see, hey, this is like a kind of a cool platform. This is like a platform dedicated to live streaming itself. So I think definitely there's been an increase in female viewership, definitely.
Which I think helps across the board alleviate some of that trolling aspect because it normalizes just the balance of gender in streaming.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, so it's something that I will say, even across the board, I come across a lot less than I thought I would, which is a pleasant surprise. Like I imagined, just from like you said, the experiences on the internet over the last 20 years, and knowing how toxic it can be.
Yep.
I thought I was gonna come in here and see it being a lot worse than it actually is, and even the stuff that I see, like it at times borders on extreme profanity, but it's still relatively few and far between these days, which is a pleasant surprise.
Yeah. Yes, I think the internet has definitely become a bit more sensitive towards like the severe trolling. Obviously that still exists, but it's become a lot better, I think.
Yeah, I think there's more awareness of it, and there's probably more tools to combat it now. Like you said, with like the bot spamming, there's some other streamer that I came across had like 2.4 million followers, and I was like, wow, that's impressive. And then in the conversation that it came up that they had, been spammed with like 2 million, and it was really like,
yeah, Twitch is like a severe.
They had like 40,000 followers, which was still impressive.
Yeah,
I was like, okay, that makes a lot more sense, because like, and I don't know. This is, like I said, this is kind of new for me. So one of the things that I came across that I found kind of fascinating was the number of streamers that have followers in the thousands and then like 3 viewers.
Yep.
And I was like, and I've learned that part of that is because some people like link their TikTok to Twitch, and they're successful TikTok performers, I guess, or artists. And so they all their followers on TikTok will come and support them and follow them on Twitch, but don't actually interact with them on Twitch.
Yep. They don't watch when they stream.
Yeah, so like one of my friends who just started streaming, she did that, and she's got like 30,000-40,000 TikTok followers, and so she went from like 0 to 1,000 followers in a day.
Yeah.
But still has 2 people watching, me
Yeah.
and her boyfriend, and that's it. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I guess that makes sense, because just because you come and follow doesn't mean you're going to interact at all.
Yep, a quick tip for everybody that wants to start streaming on Twitch. Followers don't mean anything on Twitch. It's just a number. Up until like the recent UI update that they did in 2020, I think at the beginning of 2020 that they updated their UI. Before that, you weren't even able to see the actual follower amount, like publicly.
Yeah, I agree with that.
On the website. It really, the average viewers are the only thing that matter on Twitch at the end of the day. It's the live metrics.
One of the things that I would recommend, and I've spoken with this, and a lot of people tend to agree that have started streaming, is just don't even pay attention to the numbers, to be honest.
True.
Like, if you want to stream, your motivation should be that you like to be on camera, interacting with people.
Yes.
And as long as you are comfortable in that role, everything else tends to follow.
Yep.
It'll take some time. And I've noticed for better, whereas it takes a little more time for male streamers than female streamers.
Very true, yes. Success comes a
But
bit earlier for females, I think, but obviously with all the attached harassment.
yeah, exactly. I would never want to be a female streamer on
No,
here.
I
I'll take
don't
the
think.
slow burn and the lack of interaction there than
think so
going
too, yeah.
overnight sensation and having to deal with all the flack.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, as long as you're on there and you're creating consistent content, people will come across it and people will interact with you. And there's interest in pretty much everything. One of my favorite things to do is to just scroll through the just chatting screen and see what people are talking about. It's unfortunate some of the TOS things that you can't get away with, like, you know, reviewing movies or music, stuff
Yeah.
like that. And there are some streamers that skirt those rules anyways that I like to interact with. But there are people that do the same thing and are looking for every type of subject, and I'll go into streams on subjects that I have no interest in just to see who's there and what people are talking about.
Yeah.
So yeah, the consistency is the biggest thing, I would say.
I wanted to say something in regards to about the numbers thing. That's definitely 100% true. When I started initially streaming in 2020 in March, I was very like, I always on the Twitch dashboard, you have like your stats, like the stats page there, the live stats thing. And I always had that on, and I noticed myself psychologically, like whenever I had like 3 viewers and then it dropped back down to 2 or 1, I noticed myself very much like kind of getting like mad about it, the fact that I lost someone. And then I noticed that my mood would change on stream as I go, and then I get new people, and then I'd go like get kind of not mad, I guess sad would be the word. And then I just realized after a while, hey, and some streamer said this, he's called Devin Nash. He said like, hey, he don't ever like click on the viewer views and follower thing so that it shows a minus, that you don't get any live numbers, because you will just obsess over that, and numbers really shouldn't matter. You should just do what you like to do, and the viewers, like you said, will come.
Yeah.
And I kind of like, maybe I got very lucky, but ever since I stopped, bothering about the live views, I've gone from 3, 4, 5 average viewers to like 20 now. So
yeah,
it's kind of working, I guess.
And that's the thing. For me, it's interesting because I live in New York City, and my lifestyle prior to lockdown was very extroverted. I'm constantly out doing activities, meeting people. I work in hospitality, so most of my job is meeting people and interacting with people. And I'm used to building social connections, and an expansive social life.
Yeah.
And so coming onto here, my thought process and how to go about it kind of was the same, of like exploring other people's streams, building connections with them, and trying to figure out what my content was going to be, and then drawing people into that. But at the end of the day, the reason I got into streaming is because I've got nothing to do right now because my industry is non-existent.
Yeah.
And I am sitting at home playing video games. And if I'm going to play video games, I may as well do it on camera. And so for me, it was less about forcing interaction with other people as it was, all right, well, I'm going to do this, and if people want to come hang out and chat, then so be it.
Yep.
And I happen to get lucky in that I play a game that not very many people play, that has a small but dedicated Twitch community. And so that gave me a quick in to build viewership and like create community aspect. But now I've noticed that I've started streaming a completely random game that I never expected to, and I've got a handful of people that are just showing up to hang out anyway, and I'm like, you guys have no interest in watching me do this. This is the most boring game in the world.
Yeah.
In my mind, at least. I'm doing it for somebody else. But yeah, I mean, as you build that, it'll naturally evolve.
Yep.
And I'm really appreciative of it.
Yeah, it is very interesting how the fact that like, I feel like for my stream personally, to bring it back to that, I got I feel like I have that following necessarily as like in some shape of way or form already as well, where like people would watch me theoretically play any game whatsoever because they just enjoy like the chatting experience here and like the community surrounding it. But it is very interesting how there are some Twitch streamers, some bigger ones, where like their community, I personally get the feeling that carries their whole stream. If it wasn't for the community that has like this sunken cost fallacy attached to it, the streamer wouldn't get a lot of, I think, viewers anymore.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that because there's three things that I've noticed that I find really fascinating for new streamers especially.
Mm-hmm.
The two favorite ones are two separate mentalities. One is I constantly see with new streamers they constantly go to chat, ask me questions.
Mm-hmm.
Like, give me something to talk about. And
Yep.
I'm like, that's cute, but like you realize that you're supposed to be the entertainment, we're supposed to be the viewer. Like,
True.
not the other way around. We're not providing you the content, you're providing us the content. We can help you with it, but realistically, if you're going to get on here and stream, you should have something you're planning on streaming, not just hoping for the best there as chat creates content for you.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other thing that I find really interesting is a lot of newer streamers saying, what game would you like me to play?
Mm-hmm.
And in that similar sense, and at least that's more directed than, give me something to talk about.
Yes.
But for me, because this is my social life, my social interaction, I don't really care what you're playing. I look for streamers that I like to interact with and have conversation with.
Yeah.
And you're going to do whatever you're going to do while we talk. And if it's a game I like to watch, then I'll be more incentivized to come here.
Mm.
If it's a game I don't like to watch, maybe I'll stick around for a bit and maybe go check something else out. But at the end of the day, I'm always going to come back regardless of what you're playing or doing because I like interacting with you and that's what draws me to you. Now, that being said, like I said, I stream Hearthstone. That game has a very dedicated following that only cares about that game.
Yep.
And so, and this is an interesting, actually, segue back into trolling because I thought this was really fascinating. One of the fellow Hearthstone streamers that I interact with, he has a dedicated viewership upwards of 100 to 200 on a day.
Yes.
So he has a pretty good following when he's streaming the specific variant of Hearthstone. The minute he goes to stream something else, I mean, maybe you'll get 20 or 30 at tops. But there are days where he's got like 5 viewers. And they're only there to watch that very specific content, not even there for him.
Yep.
If he's not doing it, they'll go find someone else to watch who's doing it instead.
Yep.
And someone actually came in one day to his stream when he had 5 viewers, and I was hanging out there, and the first thing that they said was, "Whoa, 5 viewers, what happened?" And he was like, dude, like, why do you even need to start with that? Like, you know what happened, and most of my viewers are here for the specific variant. I'd like to do this thing, which is speedrunning, that they don't have any interest in watching, but I still like doing, I still like streaming, and I want to get involved with other people that like that as well. And it's interesting for me because I'm a variety streamer. I'm here to meet people, hang out. I don't really care how many viewers I get. Like, I just like building connections and playing games with people. And so if people only want to watch one aspect of what I do, that's fine. Ideally, the people that I interact with, I'd like to want to interact with me regardless of what I'm doing. So I was not of the mindset when I got into Twitch of picking one thing and sticking to it. But I do think that is somewhat good advice for new streamers. It's much harder to build a community as a variety streamer than it is to be dedicated at one specific thing. And so I do tend to give that same advice of saying, look, if you want to get into streaming and you have something you like to do, focus on that, build your community around that, and then you can stray towards other things. But at the same time, I look at someone like this other streamer who has 200 people watching him, switches things, and then he has 5, and it's like, I don't know that I'd want that to be me. So it's a difficult balance at that point of, what you're really looking for. And if you're really looking to be quote unquote famous and have hundreds of people watching you, you probably have to dedicate yourself towards one thing.
Yes, and I do not know, or I don't think that there is one streamer who said, yes, chat, I will quit my job, quit my education, whatever, and I'm just gonna stream and become successful. I don't think that there has been one streamer. I know that there was a female streamer who I used to watch in the past that said, I'm gonna quit my job. But unfortunately, she got her 300-400 viewers when she started, but because of all the wrong things, she basically, dressed in a certain way that was attracting a very negative audience, but she could still pay her bills, right? I don't know if that is very fulfilling, And it's like about the variety thing. I definitely think if you are a variety streamer and you focus yourself specifically on video games, like switching up video games, I feel like you're streaming on hard mode.
Yep.
Because not only do you want to have all the tough things of actually trying to build a community that would be a lot easier when you just are dedicated to one single game, you're also trying to get someone that might watch, like you said, Hearthstone, and then on the next day they want to watch Rocket League. There is no guarantee that viewer who wants to watch you specifically play Hearthstone, because they might like your input, your takes on the game, that they actually want to watch you play Rocket League, right?
Right.
So it is very, very interesting and very, very, very tough as a variety streamer to do things. That's the reason why I, stick for the moment at least to just chatting, because if you want to build a community in a cool way, and you want to guarantee that a community, at least likes you and stays with you for a while, at least I hope so. I think just chatting is the way to go at the moment.
Yeah, and I will say, as much as I am a variety streamer, I do tend to at least dedicate consistent time to Hearthstone. And then I also stream Bridge, which is the small Twitch community that I got involved in, where there's only a handful of us. No, there's a lot more. When I started, there was already an existing community for about 2 months when I started streaming.
Yeah.
And they had maybe like a dozen at most streamers that consistently stream Bridge. And now we're probably up to close to 24, maybe even more. But I dedicate specific time to those two things, knowing that those viewers will be consistent in showing up.
Yep.
But I don't make that my whole day. So I'll do 3 hours a day every day for Hearthstone, and then when we're doing something for Bridge, something similar, and then the rest of the time I'll fill with anything else that I want to, whatever I'm in the mood for. But again, for me, because this is more social interaction and I'm not really as pressed to be quote unquote successful, what I end up doing is just building connections with people. And if I can play cooperatively with someone, I'll play whatever game I can. So last night we were playing Tabletop Simulator. My friend does Thursday night Tabletop Simulator.
Yeah.
And if nobody showed up to watch me play, I wouldn't care, because I'm playing with my friends. So whatever.
Sure, yeah.
And so that in my mind, I feel like that's an easier way to alleviate some of the stress or discomfort of streaming without viewership, if you're streaming playing with other people, because it still fills that social void that you're theoretically looking for in that situation. But again, it's counterproductive to being successful. So you kind of have to think about what you're looking for and what your balance is. And if you're looking, like I said, more for success, then that's probably not the avenue to explore.
True, yeah. What else can I put into that context? Oh, one thing that I wanted to say is, if you want to look for ways to grow your stream and you want to start out, I would always, and this is something that I've realized relatively recently, I would say, if you really want to, go to people and ask them for help on how you could improve your stream, don't watch the YouTube videos of the Twitch streamers that got big 5 to 10 years ago. Go watch some YouTube videos of people that are just in the process of doing that right now, that might have 200-300 average viewers, but that had their success 1-2 years ago. So that's one thing that I wanted to say. I feel like that's an epiphany that I've had pretty recently, is don't take the advice of people who became, quote in air quotes, successful 10 years or 5 years ago. Take it for somebody who did it recently.
Yeah, that's a good point because the landscape definitely has changed.
Mm.
Uh, and I mean, I don't even know where I really went to for streaming information, to be honest. Uh, I mean, I think a lot of what I searched for was just people who were streaming in the moment,
Hmm.
uh, because they're what I like going as firsthand as I can get. So if I'm watching someone who just started streaming and seeing what their struggles have been, that's the person that I want to talk to try to see, okay, well, what can I expect? How did you go about solving those problems? Or maybe you haven't solved them, and then together we can go find solutions elsewhere.
Mm.
Um, but and then I also like imparting that information on others, which is why I end up interacting with a lot of new streamers because, like I said, in my like it, I was actually having this conversation with someone else when it comes to trying to be successful, someone who was actually wondering what it would take to really become successful on Twitch, and there there was this kind of back and forth as to, is there a limited amount of people that consist of the viewing community on Twitch, and if so, do you become incentivized to not share your community with other people?
Hmm.
Like one of my favorite things to do is rating other streamers.
Hmm.
I really enjoy that. I enjoy seeing people get excited when they have new viewers. I enjoy seeing new streamers. And so for me, I'm never concerned about sharing my audience with somebody else or vice versa. But I've come across streamers who do feel that way, who are like, look, it's tough to build a community and it took a lot of work and I put this effort in to build this community myself. And there's a limited number of viewing people on Twitch, which is accurate. It does grow, but it's still limited.
Yes.
And they have more of a competitive mindset between streamers than a collaborative
Hmm.
mindset. And that's fair. Like, I totally get that.
Mm.
Because I like doing collaborative stuff, not out of trying to gain anybody else's audience, but like I said, because I like playing games with people. I'm here for the social interaction of it.
Mm.
But they're very disincentivized to do that because of their concern about losing viewers. And I've lost viewers, so to speak, when I've played with other streamers who are more attractive than I am.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden I notice some of the people that would follow me and watch me are now watching them when we're playing instead. And I'm like, that's cool. Like I said, I don't really care.
Okay.
But I did find that kind of interesting at the end of the day, that the difference between that and
It's two different philosophies. It's very interesting. Like there are a lot of streamers who like utilize the networking part of Twitch very well. I think who build like these like almost want to say like streamer networks around themselves, like that friend group maybe. And then there are the some of them who some streamers who have that mindset of like, hey, I did this myself, like you said. I don't want to risk any of my viewers watching someone else when I'm live. So and let's be real here, on Twitch there is a very limited audience. You only get 21 million viewers per day on Twitch compared to YouTube's 1.5 billion, for example. So it is a very small platform at the end of the day, a very new platform in the sense that live streaming is still, I feel like live streaming is still in its infancy. I think one day, once YouTube really says, hey, we're gonna go all in with streaming, live streaming will become something way bigger, but that is in the future. But Twitch is a very small place, and live streaming as a medium cannot be consumed like a YouTube video, right? You can watch YouTuber A for 10 minutes because the video's been 10 minutes long. Then you can YouTuber B's video for 25 minutes because that was a longer one, and then after that video is finished, you can watch YouTuber C after those 25 minutes are finished, and then you watch that for like 10 minutes. So like you can't watch streams side by side, right? Because every single stream has different contexts or like different ways of entertaining you, right? You can only watch one stream at a time.
yeah,
So
that's very true. And a lot of what the streaming is is very in the moment. Like unless the streamer is going to go back and highlight aspects of their stream for you to consume in a small amount of time, it's it's unrealistic to go back and watch every streamer's VODs that you enjoy. You're talking about thousands of hours of information that you just don't have the time for.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's just live stream as a medium, I guess, is very different in that sense. So, but obviously Twitch could do a lot more to find a lot more discoverability / like better ways of consuming the platform, but it's just Twitch, you know. I don't think that platform will better itself in quite a while.
Yeah, so. I don't have any expectations for that either. For better or worse.
I wouldn't be surprised if in a couple of years Twitch would not be owned by Amazon anymore. I don't think Amazon is very happy with how Twitch is growing, so wouldn't be surprised if Twitch gets sold to someone else.
What improvements would you like to see when it comes to the host aspect of it, of Twitch and streaming?
Well, one of the easiest things that I would implement, one thing for the big streamers, have a content ID system like YouTube has, so that you aren't scared for your life if you play or for your livelihood. If you play a 3 to 5 second audio soundbite by Rick Astley, so that your whole VOD gets removed and you get a DMCA strike for the bigger streamers. So have like on the back end, have like actually a reasonable somehow ref sharing model. Obviously that is very easy, a lot easier said than done. But on the front end, like one of the easiest things, I think like it's crazy how well Twitch clips go hand in hand with TikTok, you know, in terms of that platform. Have something like the Twitch app itself have a bigger focus on like VOD content, or like get a bigger focus than it at the moment has. A bigger focus on clips itself, because those are the short bites that everybody can consume, right? Big issue on Twitch, like we just discussed, is like nobody goes back and watches VODs on a very rare occasion, right? Unless you're like Ludwig, who every single stream makes something very interesting. So I think don't make yourself a competitor to YouTube in the sense that, hey, we just like Twitch had for a while, we just, you know, you can upload your videos here, whatever you want to do, but have like sort of like I guess more like a TikTok competitor. Have fun little gaming sized bits, like the clip feature already is at the end of the day. Have that, you know, highlighted a lot on the homepage of Twitch. I know a lot of people don't even click on the homepage of Twitch, but at least that would be something. I guess some chat experience, but I think Twitch chat is already pretty alright. I guess definitely make the channel page better. I don't know how, but I still think it's just very bad.
I think that my biggest challenge from a viewer standpoint is being able to separate larger streamers and smaller streamers. Because there are very vast difference in experiences between watching a larger streamer and a smaller streamer. There are some larger streamers that I can imagine I enjoy watching, I'm really there like almost watching a TV show just for the content itself, and not for the chat interaction. Like an example, I guess, would be the Botez sisters. You know, I do have an interest in chess, even if I don't play it very much. And yeah, I enjoy watching them play and some of their content. There's 14,000 people watching them. I'm not getting involved in chat. But the separate aspect of that is trying to find a small chess streamer. Like, and maybe chess is easier. I haven't actually looked for a small chess streamer. Maybe there aren't that many people streaming chess, but like it's very difficult to separate those two categories and say, okay, well, how am I going to find a small chess streamer that I can have just casual conversation with while they're playing or talk about the games? And I don't know if like adding tags is how you're supposed to go about doing that. I've just started. Yeah, exactly. I've just started using that only because I stream a variant of Hearthstone, and that was the first recommendation that I was given from the other people that stream that variant was make sure you put the arena tag in.
Okay.
because people will search specifically for that. And I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. And now when I go look for new streamers for Hearthstone, it's like, okay, I put in the arena tag and some people come up, and then I scroll through the regular Hearthstone page and some people don't have that tag that are streaming it. And I'll go in and tell them the same thing and be like, if you want to do this, make sure you add this tag, because the people that like watching the content when nobody they like to watch is on will go to that page and put in that tag. And you won't show up, and then they won't find you. But it's not very accessible to do that, because if you're going to a game you know nothing about, you don't know what tags to search for.
So just click on the biggest streamer usually. At least that's how I do it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you do that.
I mean, I think discoverability is definitely a challenge, and I mean that's probably social media in general. Like I said, this is all new to me, so I'm not very familiar with how that works on YouTube or how that works on TikTok. I don't even have TikTok. I've literally had zero interaction with TikTok.
Okay.
Do you utilize other social media platforms to advertise or promote your stream, like Instagram, stuff like that?
Yes, I actually just for like 2-3 weeks ago, I made a TikTok, and discoverability on TikTok is insane. I want to make a YouTube video about this in terms of like you know, what to do when to start a Twitch channel in general, and one of the things that I definitely would recommend is get a TikTok. Because the discoverability there is insane. Overnight, you have like, I had like maybe 10 followers, and that was just like my pre-built audience on Twitch. And overnight I got like 3 or 4K views on like a clip that I just made. That was just a Twitch clip, and I adjusted for TikTok, right? So that would be one platform. I have a Twitter and I have YouTube. I did YouTube videos before. So yeah. But if you listen to like any of those, I want to say Twitch gurus, right? That say stuff about Twitch that is relatively informative. They all say like make a YouTube channel. Some people say make TikTok, advertise your content on Twitter, on Instagram, not advertise, but like put your content on those platforms.
Yeah.
Because those platforms actually have discoverability instead of Twitch, where Twitch is just like this blank wall of like thumbnails, right? Where like it's just a moment from their stream, and it could be like one of the worst screenshots ever in the thumbnails, and they and like some terrible stream title, right? Just very unfavorable. So I'm just like, discoverability on Twitch is just absolutely terrible.
Yeah. I'll have to. One of my friend's daughter, the one that I mod for, she keeps telling me to get TikTok, and I'm like, it feels like a little. No offense to her, it feels like a younger person thing. I guess is the best way to describe it. So I'm like, I don't know. It's not.
To be honest, if you ever do it and download it and make an account, one of the tips that I would instantly do is, for some reason, TikTok very much is on they have like a For You page, like on Instagram, where they think they can suggest you like content that they think you like. But that's just terrible. Never watch that, because otherwise you'll lose faith in humanity.
Yeah, I mean, I don't imagine if I created a TikTok, it would be for me to watch other people on TikTok. It would simply be to put my content on there.
Yeah.
Like I had an Instagram account previously, so I just blended that into my streaming Instagram account, so to speak. I do literally zero on it. I don't post anything on there, because that's, again, not what I'm here for. I don't really have the time for that. But I do utilize it for the other streamers that I connect with who post content on there, and I definitely would say it's beneficial for me to see their stuff through that, because they post going live notifications, and I think that the more places you post that, the more consistent your audience will be, because I used to just go by the Twitch notifications, and I found them to be completely inconsistent.
Terrible. Nobody has to activate it.
Yeah. Instagram, on the other hand, every time they post, I get the notification. And I imagine TikTok would be something similar. YouTube is interesting. So I never really got involved in Twitch, but I kind of was tangentially involved in Twitch for a long time, because a lot of the content that I watched on YouTube was streamer content. It was mostly Hearthstone streamer content, but it was streamer content that had been edited down to YouTube, and I could watch it on YouTube on my own time. So I had an understanding of that interaction to some extent. And yeah, so like that as a platform, I have a little bit of knowledge of in that sense, but as far as like producing stuff and utilizing your own channel, that I've zero experience with. So that I don't know the process involved, or you know what to look for something like that. But I definitely, like you said, like, the more platforms you have your information on, the more exposure you're going to get. And I do
Exactly.
agree with
Yeah.
that. So maybe by next Friday I'll have a TikTok account.
Yeah, if you know your editing programs and you can like edit your Twitch clips. I mean, one big thing is I tell my viewers, if they think I said something funny, if they think right, just clip it, because I can, once I finish the stream, I click through the clips that they've made, and I think if that's funny, I'm just gonna download that clip and adjust it to the TikTok format.
Yeah.
And upload it to TikTok. They have like a web uploader, so it's like you don't even need the app installed on your phone technically. Don't think you ever need. No, you don't. For TikTok, that's pretty cool. For TikTok, you don't even need the app ever installed on your phone. You can upload it just from desktop. So that's pretty great.
Well, that's convenient.
Yep. So if you really want to just purely utilize it for content, and you don't want to watch on some of the cringe that is on there, you're free to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm trying to figure out currently what I'm doing with my two YouTube channels. I have two. I have one where I did gaming industry stuff, where I did like more in-depth research content. That is my main channel, youtube.com/Tangle. But I'm trying to somehow change that now towards more streaming content. But then again, my second channel called Tangle 2 has some VODs from the streams on there, so I'm trying to figure that out at the moment. And then my Twitter is something completely different. I don't know what I should do there.
Yeah, Twitter. Twitter's an interesting one, because Twitter feels more commentary oriented than anything else. As
Hot
far
takes.
as what I have seen it utilized for outside of Twitch, and so how that blends in with Twitch, I feel maybe is more of an advertising thing. Is just that you tweet when you go live and people see it. But I don't really know. Twitter and TikTok, I can't comment on pretty much at all. I don't have anywhere near enough interaction with to speak to. Instagram, I at least have utilized before, so I do understand the process.
I remember that used to be definitely the meta, because when I followed like a few years back before Discord was a thing, but I feel like most streamers have now substituted the "Hey, I'm now live on stream" to like just a Discord notification.
Yeah.
Instead of a Twitter tweet.
Yeah, so Discord is an interesting one. I used Discord when it first came out for something completely different, and then never came back to it until the last 4 months. And I do think it's beneficial in the sense that the go live notification there is very helpful. But it's so easy to get overwhelmed with the number of Discords that you're in. Like I just scrolling through, and I constantly go back and have to clean them up, but I've got like Discords that have like 500 notifications that I just never bother to go through.
I just have all my Discords muted.
Yeah, so and that's part of it too. I have all my Discords muted as well, and so I'll get go live notifications, but they're not going to pop up, and then I won't notice them until like 5 hours later when I actually pop back into Discord again. So I don't know how much I would like to rely on Discord for something like that. I think it's good for the community you've already built.
Yeah.
To see when you're going live, but I don't think you really utilize it for new community at all. As far as like a go live notification.
Yeah, I think Discord is just a very good community hub.
Yeah.
All things that specific streamer doesn't really like. If you look at my Discord, for example, it's just like a hub. Notifications whenever I post a YouTube video or TikTok or anything really, I gets posted in there. And yeah, and I post all my updates here, so it's like a very good hub platform.
Yeah. Yeah, I find it interesting because when I first got into streaming and wanted to integrate Discord, I had a very similar mentality to what I see other people saying of like, oh, like I want to build a community on Discord and
Mhm.
have, constant conversation there with everyone. And most of the Discords that I am in, that's not the case.
Mhm.
Like there's a lot of people in there and they follow the streamer, but there's only a handful that have consistent conversation.
Mm.
And part of that for me is just like I don't have the time to keep up for that. Whatever time I could dedicate to sitting there and having a conversation in Discord with people, I need to spend on stream having
Yep.
conversation with people. So I see a lot of people that get started on Discord saying that like, oh my god, like I want to build a community here and have conversations here, and I'm like, just give it as a information hub, and
Yep.
like people can post stuff there. It's an easy, I guess the best way to describe it, and maybe the mentality to have is a slightly more intimate connection with your streamer, like
Yep.
an offline connection,
Mhm.
off-stream connection,
Mhm.
and a bit of an off-stream connection with the community. But it's not going to be Stream 2.0.
Yep.
Like, which I think is a lot of the mentality at times with some newer streamers.
It is definitely, yeah. I would agree with that. I think it's similar to the notion of, hey, don't force yourself becoming a Twitch streamer or like you growing on Twitch. Don't look at the numbers. Same way on Discord, I would say, don't force people and say like, hey, join this Discord and chat about stuff. I think it will just come naturally after a while
Yeah,
once you build a community.
exactly.
Well, anyways, I think to get some other people in here, that was a very cool
Yeah,
conversation, though, Jacob. I really appreciate that. It's very fun for me to talk about the whole streaming meta. Like that whole topic is a lot of fun for me, to be honest.
agreed. And I appreciate you having me on here. I'll try again next Friday with the actual world building conversation.
Well, sure. Well, then we have something.
Which I think would also be fun.
Yeah, I think so too. That will be fun. Well, everybody in chat, some clappers for Jacob, and yeah,